שלום לכם מכלכליסט TV. פרופסור רוברט שילר, הכלכלן שנודע בזכות מדד מחירי הנדל"ן שפיתח יחד עם כלכליסט, הגיע באחרונה להרצאה ללקוחות בנק ברקליס ישראל. אורי פסובסקי שוחח איתו על ההקלה הכמותית של הבנקים המרכזיים, על מחירי הנדל"ן בארצות הברית, וגם על המצב בשוק הדיור אצלנו.
Professor Schiller, welcome to Khalkhalist TV. Thank you for joining us. So I thought we begin with QE, quantitative easing. There has been a talk about the Fed ending maybe prematurely quantitative easing. Can we expect volatility in the markets in the near future?
Quantitative easing was done as a stabilizer. Presumably in the right hands, it will be a stabilizer. I think that it's been used well. It's helped reduce the weakness of the economy. It had some disproportionate influence maybe on the housing market, because it wasn't just buying long-term bonds, but QE3 was involving buying mortgage securities. When they do unwind it, there is some uncertainty about how well the economy will function. There could be dislocations that will be troublesome. We don't know. We've never done such extensive quantitative easing before and don't know what the unwinding will be like. And it may involve itself in political problems as people view the chaos of the unwinding. But I'm still optimistic that they will be able to unwind it smoothly enough and will have a good outcome.
You mentioned U.S. housing. We've seen a strong recovery in this sector. Should we expect it to continue?
I think that the increase in home prices in the United States are quite likely to continue for at least 6 months to a year, because I've learned from history that momentum is much stronger in the housing market than it is in other financial markets. But I don't know how far out to extrapolate that. And I have a concern that there are instabilities in this situation right now that might make this boom short-lived. So I'm a little bit less optimistic about the long-term implications of this boom. Home prices have come down to approximately where they should be. It's not like we need another boom. I think that they may be right where they are now in 5 or 10 years, in real terms, correcting for inflation.
And finally, the Israeli housing sector, there's been some talk about a bubble in this sector here. What should policymakers do to prevent such a bubble and to deal with the possible burst of a bubble in the local housing market?
In the bubble that led to the financial crisis, the so-called subprime bubble, there was very little done by regulators to limit the expansion of the bubble. I would hope that we learn some lessons from that. I think that in Israel, the Bank of Israel's actions have suggested that they did learn some lessons from that, because the Bank of Israel has tried to put in policies that limit the extent of the Israeli real estate boom. Now, I don't know that those actions were necessary or whether future ones are needed, but I think that it's a sign of good policy making, and I think Stan Fisher was a brilliant Bank of Israel governor. It's good policy making to take action when you think that something looks possibly amiss as a regulator, rather than wait until someone proves it. And by that time, it's probably too late. So I'm suspecting that the Bank of Israel will take yet more steps to limit the expansion of the housing boom. I don't know whether it's a bubble. I suspect it may have aspects of a bubble and may be problematic.